Alright guys, hey, how y'all doing? I want to welcome everybody here for Personal Protective Equipment class, also known as PPE. My name is Dwight Stevens. I work for Tullahoma Fire Department. I've been a firefighter for 20 years, and I've been with the city of Tullahoma for 6 years. 6 years in January. Like I said, our class today is PPE. Our class objectives are we are going to learn about our personal protective equipment and learn the proper cleaning methods. As far as references, we're gonna be reading out of Fundamentals of Firefighting Skills, second edition, chapter 2. So the second book of Essentials Manual. We'll be watching a short video here at the beginning, and then we'll talk about that video after that video is over with. Alright. Apologize about that, guys. Alright. Our firefighter equipment is very detrimental for us as firefighters, because we'll be using that equipment when we go inside of buildings that are on fire or car wrecks or anything, hazardous materials of the such. PPE enables firefighters to work in areas with high temperatures and concentrations of toxic gases. Without the PPE, firefighters wouldn't be able to conduct search and rescue or fire suppression activities. PPE is designed to be worn with a self-contained breathing apparatus. So with that being said, we're going to watch a video. It's about 16 minutes long, and then after the video we will talk about the video, and we'll go over and continue on. Are there any questions so far?
No, sir.
Can we get the volume? Thanks, sir.
Injuries can be prevented and lives can be saved by wearing and maintaining the proper protective clothing for the job. In this program, you will see an overview of various types of personal protective clothing used in the fire service. We will emphasize why you must select and wear only protective clothing that meets fire service standards. The training objectives are: 1. To demonstrate the components of full protective clothing used in structural firefighting and the limitations of each. 2. To show proper protective clothing to be worn as a station or work uniform. And 3. To present procedures for care and maintenance of personal protective clothing. Full personal protective clothing worn by firefighters includes several key components. They are the helmet, eye protection, hearing protection, a protective hood, protective coat and pants, gloves, and protective boots and safety shoes. Each piece helps prevent discomfort and injury, but all have limitations beyond an established range of protection. By selecting the correct equipment and maintaining it properly, you can get optimum protection benefits. The helmet protects the head from impact and puncture injuries, and it sheds water away from your head and face. Newer certified helmets also protect you from heat and cold and from eye and face injury. The wide brim in the back is designed to keep both hot water and embers from burning your ears or going down your neck. Helmet design is one aspect of the fire service that will probably be debated for as long as there are firefighters. All helmets that meet NFPA Standard 1971 are acceptable. The choice of color and style is largely a matter of comfort and tradition. You can check that your helmet meets the specifications by looking for the following information on the helmet: the name, address, and country of the manufacturer, the model and lot numbers, the month and year of manufacture, the weight, a recommended cleaning procedure, and the helmet size or range. Additionally, every helmet should have a warning label that reminds you that you must adjust and secure the helmet properly, and you should not make any modifications to the helmet without the authorization of the manufacturer. Notice that your helmet has ear flaps or covers. These ear covers must be used during firefighting. To secure the helmet so it does not come off in an impact, you must wear the chin strap. Eye protection is an essential part of protective clothing because eye injuries are one of the most common types of injury on the fire ground. Eye injuries can be serious, and yet they are, for the most part, easy to prevent. Eye protection includes safety glasses, safety goggles, helmet face shields, and SCBA face masks. When selecting eye protection equipment, the best materials will be those that are shatterproof, do not scratch easily, and can withstand high temperature. Helmet face shields provide secondary protection and may not provide the eye protection required against flying particles or splashes. Firefighters may encounter a number of emergency situations where primary eye protection, such as goggles or safety glasses, must be worn. Safety glasses and goggles protect against 85% of all eye hazards. Be sure that you have the necessary eye protection equipment on your apparatus. Some non-emergency tasks also require additional eye protection. These include conducting inspections at industrial occupancies or welding or grinding at the station. Always wear the proper eye protection for the job. Warning signs should be posted near operations that require eye protection. Firefighters are exposed to a wide range of loud noises that can result in permanent hearing loss. Hearing protection is necessary because most of this noise cannot be eliminated. Earplugs and earmuffs are used to provide some protection from noise in the station or while on the apparatus, but they pose potential hazards at the fire scene. Earplugs can melt in extreme heat, and earmuffs are not usable with SCBA and protective hoods. The most common use of ear protection is while riding on apparatus that exceeds maximum noise exposure levels. Ear protection systems that have a built-in intercom are helpful because they reduce the amount of noise while still allowing the crew to communicate or to monitor the radio. Protective hoods are designed to protect your ears, neck, and face from exposure to extreme heat. The hood also covers areas that are exposed even when you're wearing your ear flaps, face piece, or coat collar. Protective hoods are used with the SCBA face piece to provide effective protection, but you must be careful when donning the SCBA face piece to be sure that the hood is out of the way when making the face piece to face seal. Firefighter protective coats, or turnout coats, are used in structural firefighting as well as other duties. Coats that meet the NFPA standard 1971 will have 3 layers: an outer shell, a moisture barrier, and a thermal barrier. To be sure that your coat meets the standard, check for a label attached to each separate layer. The label will state that the coat meets the standard and will explain the limitations of the garment. The label also provides instructions for care. Working together, the 3 layers provide protection against heat, flame, cold, hot water, vapors, and some types of environmental hazards. The construction and function of each layer is critically important to your safety. The type of barrier material on the outside of the coat has a great effect on the amount of protection you will have. Some fabric combinations provide better protection against heat, while others are more resistant to cuts. Turnout coats have many features that provide both protection and convenience. Collars can be turned up to protect your neck and throat. Wristlets prevent water, dust, and debris from getting up your sleeve. The storm flap closure on the front prevents water or fire products from getting through. Different pocket styles can be designed to hold tools, radios, SCBA face pieces, and other important equipment. There is some disagreement about the best color for a turnout coat. Dark colors are harder to see at night, but light colors show dirt more easily. All turnout coats that meet the standard are designed to be easily cleaned by laundering. Frequent laundering is advised, since studies show that regardless of the color, a dirty coat absorbs heat much more quickly than a clean one. The NFPA standard requires that reflective tape or trim be present on the protective coat. The minimum trim pattern for the coat shall be a band that goes around the bottom of the coat near the hem, a band of horizontal trim at chest level on the front, and either horizontal or vertical bands on the back. This trim should not be obscured by holes, patches, or storm lines. Firefighter protective pants or trousers are also required by NFPA 1971. These pants are necessary because three-quarter boots and long coats do not provide adequate protection for the lower body or legs. The types of fabric and the layering principles used in the construction of protective coats also apply to protective trousers. The standard requires that the protective trousers have a band of reflective trim on each leg between the bottom hem and the knee. Suspenders used with protective pants should be a heavy-duty type that will be able to hold up the pants even if they are soaking wet. Gloves are essential to protect your hands against heat, cold, cuts, punctures, and liquid absorption. Firefighting gloves need to be tough and offer insulation against hot and cold, but they also must allow enough dexterity to manipulate tools and perform tasks that require the use of your hands. All gloves used in structural firefighting should meet the requirements of NFPA 1971. You will find a certification label attached to all gloves meeting the standard. Gloves that are coated with a rubber-like plastic cannot be used for firefighting. These gloves, sometimes called red ball gloves, can become soft when exposed to high temperatures. Once the plastic is soft, it can transfer enough heat to turn perspiration to steam and burn your hands. Boots and safety shoes are an important part of your protective clothing, both on the fire ground and in the station. You will need two different types of boots and shoes: protective or turnout boots for firefighting and other emergency work, and safety shoes for station wear and non-firefighting duties. Protective boots must meet the requirements of NFPA 1971. They should be puncture resistant with a stainless steel midsole plate. The boot lining should be of a material that will not break up and cause blisters. Turnout boots should have well-secured pull loops to allow you to don them quickly. Safety shoes or boots should be worn while conducting inspections or while working around the station. Safety shoes usually have safety toes and puncture-resistant soles. Safety shoes or boots provide support and agility, and generally cause less fatigue than working in the heavier turnout boots. Positive pressure breathing apparatus and full protective clothing is the minimum protection to be used in any incident that might involve hazardous materials. Special firefighting operations such as wildland fires and hazardous materials operations require additional protective clothing and equipment. Certain chemicals will dissolve and deteriorate the outer fabric of turnout coats and pants, and some chemical gases can penetrate the seal of the SCBA facepiece. For incidents involving hazardous materials, it may be necessary for responders to wear specially designed chemical suits that protect against the specific hazard of the incident. The work uniform you wear in the station is another important part of your firefighting personal protective clothing. The work uniform should meet the standards of NFPA 1975, which designates that work clothing should contribute to the effectiveness of the outer protective clothing, not cause discomfort or injury. The work uniform standard requires that the garments must not ignite, melt, drip, or separate when exposed to heat of 500 degrees Fahrenheit or 260 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. Fabrics that have met this requirement include organic fabrics such as fire-resistant wool and cotton, as well as some synthetic fabrics such as Kevlar, Nomex, and Kynol. Remember that even though the work uniform is meant to be fire-resistant, it should not be worn alone for firefighting operations. Always wear full protective clothing, including helmet, turnout coat and pants, gloves, boots, and breathing apparatus for structural firefighting. To ensure that your protective clothing provides you with maximum benefits of protection and comfort, You must care for it and maintain it properly. Each piece of protective clothing has a specific maintenance procedure that should be followed. Helmets need to be kept clean and repaired. The general guidelines for helmet maintenance are: remove dirt from the shell. Dirt on the helmet absorbs heat, making it very uncomfortable in a fire. Remove chemicals, oils, and other petroleum products from the shell as soon as possible. These agents can soften the shell, making it less durable. Repair or replace a helmet that doesn't fit properly. You need a good fitting helmet for maximum protection against impact. Repair or replace a damaged helmet. Leather helmets can become cracked or brittle with age. All repairs should be done according to the manufacturer's instructions. Inspect the suspension web for deterioration and replace it if necessary. If you want to paint your helmet, consult a manufacturer first. They can advise if painting your type of helmet material is recommended, and if so, what type of paint to use. You should clean the outer shell of your turnout coat and pants regularly. Follow the manufacturer's directions, which you will probably find on a tag sewn into the garment. You should not wash or dry your turnout gear in machines that are used to wash other clothing or bedding. The turnout gear might be contaminated by hazardous materials that could be transferred to other articles washed later in that machine. Most coats and pants can be cleaned simply by laying them out and hand scrubbing them with a mild soap and water. Rinse them off and hang up to dry. Gloves can be cleaned in the same way, but check the manufacturer's instructions before cleaning. Boots used in firefighting get very dirty. To clean them, wash off the oil, grease, chemicals, and other debris as soon as possible to prevent deterioration of the rubber. Store rubber boots in a cool place, away from direct sunlight, to avoid ozone deterioration. Replace any boots that are cut, worn out, or punctured if they cannot be repaired. Apply a recommended protective dressing to leather boots at intervals according to the manufacturer's instructions. In this program, you have seen an overview of the types of personal protective clothing required in the fire service. You have seen each of the components of full protective clothing used in structural firefighting, the correct type of protective clothing to be worn as a station or work uniform, and the procedures for care and maintenance of personal protective clothing. Your personal protective equipment, including your breathing apparatus and protective clothing, are often all that stands between you and the hostile environment of firefighting. By wearing all of the equipment you are issued and maintaining it in the best condition possible, you have taken an important step in assuring your own safety as well as the safety and success of the entire operation.
All right, as the video explained, our equipment is very, we must keep our equipment clean after fires, and so it'd be ready to use on the next call. Coats and trousers have a tough outer shells that can withstand high temperatures, repel water, and provide protection from abrasions and sharp edges. Now, our gear is line apparel. Do you guys have an idea about what temperature that it can withstand, heat-wise?
About 700.
700 is correct. 700 degrees. After that, the insides of our skin, or the insides of the coat, start heating up, and our skins start burning. Knees may be reinforced with leather pads for greater protection, and fluorescent or reflective trim adds visibility. We're supposed to have trim all around our jacket and on our pants. So, and then of course we wear visibility vest on top of that. The helmet provides protection from trauma to the head, and includes ear coverings. The outer shell is lined with energy absorbing material and has a suspension system to provide impact protection against falling objects. Under that, we wear a protective hood, Nomex hood. It's supposed to be a fire retardant hood that covers any exposed skin between the coat, collar, and the helmet. Hoods are constructed of flame-resistant materials such as Nomex or PBI. And the coat sleeves have wristlets that prevent liquids or hot embers from getting between the embers and the skin. The gloves, they must meet NFPA 1971 standards, and they are thermal protection and puncture. All right, as I previously stated, our gears withstand temperatures up to 700 degrees. Skin instantly starts burning at temperatures of 131 degrees. The outer shell of our coat provides the tough, durable, fast line of defense against heat, flame, and physical damage. The moisture barrier helps protect against the intrusion of water, chemicals, and viral agents. These barriers are also breathable, which allows metallic heat to escape and helps reduce the overall heat stress during strenuous activities. And of course, the thermal layers are the closest to the body, and they provide protection from thermal exposure. All right, at this time I'm going to have Firefighter Thomas demonstrate. We're going to go step by step on how to don your personal protective equipment by steps. So if Firefighter Thomas Bradford will come up here and we will start. All right, Thomas, just lay your gear out there like you would if you was doing a 2-minute drill. What would you put on first? If you had all that laid out, what's your first thing that you're going to put on?
Me, personally, I usually put my hood on
Good.
first.
That's correct. Put your hood on first. Then what are you going to do?
Bunker pants.
Bunker pants is correct.
And boots.
Bunker pants on. Suspenders up. To your shoulders. Zip that all up. Make sure your snap is snapped. All right, now what else? What's next?
Turnout.
Your turnout coat. Make sure you zip that up. Get your Velcro strapped. And make sure your throat collar. Yep, all right. Then next is your helmet. Helmet has a chin strap. Helmets also have borts. You can get them borts or you can get them in the shield.
Also have
Goggles in the back.
because I have the boards.
Right. If you have borts, you gotta have goggles. That is an NFPA requirement. And then finally, gloves. Now, you must be able to put this gear on in 1 minute or less. This is not including your air pack. 1 minute or less. And we're gonna have Firefighter Bradford demonstrate and see if he could do it in less than 1 minute. So we'll reverse everything back down in pretty much the order that you put it on. Go ahead and get it laid out. While he was doing that, there are 5 limitations of personal protective equipment. Do you have an idea what one of them might be?
I do not.
All right. Is this stuff easy to put on?
No.
That's right. That's correct. It's not easy to put on. not easy to don.
How much does it all weigh? Just the coat, the jacket, and everything like that? How much is that?
I'd say around 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
Give or take, depends on what kind of gear you got, and the equipment that you got inside your pockets.
Okay.
And then of course you add your air pack to that. That adds more weight to it.
Okay.
Another limitation would be that it's heavy. You know, as we just got done talking about, it retains your body heat.
Okay.
And perspiration. It limits your mobility. And you're getting short spots, tough spots, tight spots. It's hard to move around.
Yeah.
And it decreases your normal sensory liabilities. All right.
Has tying knots, I would guess, maybe.
Yeah. You wouldn't be all the thick gloves on. It's hard to tie a knot. All right. I need a. If somebody's got a phone with a stopwatch.
Yeah. I'm sick. It doesn't scream in there. Okay, stop watching.
All right. I'm gonna say go, and you have 1 minute to put your gear on. Are you ready? Go.
I want your computer right there, just in case.
What?
When you get to put the jacket on.
Oh, yeah. Time.
43, 42.
43 seconds. So good job. You did under 1 minute. All right. As he's taking all that off, I'm going to discuss a little bit more. There are 7 types of protection provided by PPE, and they provide thermal protection, repels water, provides impact protection, provides protection against cuts and abrasions, furnishes padding against injury, increases your visibility, and provides respiratory protection. All right. I've asked y'all a few questions, and y'all did really good. Now I'll be examining a written test, and we'll be taking it here in the next few minutes as soon as Firefighter Bradford gets done. Let me make sure I didn't leave anything out. As far as care and maintenance of your PPE, a washing machine is the most suitable for washing your gear. Not one that you would normally use at your house, but an industrial one that you can use at the fire station. If that's not available, you can use mild soap and detergent and regular cold water.
Could you use a residential washer that is designated just for the PPE?
I would not. Because most residential washers are smaller and they can't handle that big bulky size of the fire gear. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't, but I wouldn't.
What about drying them? What's the best?
Drying
cold
them,
washer for drying
the best way to dry them is in open air, away from your locker. And you don't want to store them in your locker, mold build up. You definitely don't want that.
I noticed, it talks about cleaning like all the coat, the pants, the boots and stuff, and the gloves, but I haven't heard anything about the air pack.
We're not covering air pack
Okay.
in this part. It's just the regular PPE.
Okay.
Air packs at a later on subject.
Okay.
All right. Now let me get the test for the. They're ready. For the written test. soon as you guys get that done, I will grade them and give them back to you. You done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now I have a evaluation form here. If you guys don't mind filling that out. Thank you. All right, guys. Anybody got any questions? I want to thank you for. I'm sorry.
No, no, sir.
Okay. I want to thank you for attending this personal protective equipment class, and I hope you all have a great day.